a growing health, wellness, and leadership podcast designed for you to become your most empowered self.
Great day, amazing humans. Welcome to the Empowered in My Skin podcast, where our mission is to help 1 billion people in this world think in more empowering ways. Empowered humans empower humans. So you are the right spot to become a lead domino for empowerment today. So let the show begin. Great day, Alicia. How are you doing, girl?
Hello.
Hello.
Wonderful day to you.
So, excited to talk to you about self-talk. And I have to be careful. There's sun and it eats me up there. So I want you to introduce yourself to the world in your best self-talkish way and go.
Awesome. Well, everyone, my name is Alicia. I am
Alicia. Did I say Alicia? I said Alicia.
It happens. Alicia.
That's no Alicia Lando.
Alicia Lando. Yes. I am Trinidadian. I am a financial service professional. I am a friend. I am a sister. I am a daughter, and I'm excited to share space with you today.
I love it. We've been sharing space for a while. So I'm really excited. I don't know. It's probably going on because we met during the pandemic. And so it's going on at least 4 years or so.
Not quite.
About 3 or so? No, I think it's 4 because we've been out of pandemic for 2 years.
Yeah, but we connected in early 22, I think.
Okay.
So we were still dealing.
Okay. Well, over 2 years. Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
And I've seen you grow, and I think it's just been so awesome to be part of your journey. So thank you for inviting me in. So I want to we go a little bit further back than the self-talk group that this episode is really about. And there was a day where you actually just said, yes, I'm going to just start doing daily mantras. So maybe you can sort of speak to, like, sometimes it's just about making that decision. What made you make that decision, and how have you continued to maintain that daily practice?
Well, to essentially kind of give some context. So when we first encountered each other, if you will, let's just say I was in a period of transition. So essentially, you sort of introduced that concept of, daily affirmation, sort of claiming that those aspects of yourself on a daily basis. Because oftentimes we have that negative self-talk that drowns out, right? So I was like, you know what? I'm going through this rough patch. Why not? What would it hurt? Like, just give this a shot. Why not? Right. So that was sort of my thinking at the time. It was like, what would it hurt? Like, it's only to your benefit. Mm-hmm. So that was sort of where my head was at the time, in the beginning of that sort of positive affirmation, journey, if you will. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. And then, so at the onset, was it uncomfortable? Because I know you weren't doing it you never really did it by yourself. It wasn't like just me. You were in a group, there were other people, you had to record a video. And so what was that experience like at the onset?
In the beginning, I was like, okay, sure, I'll do it. Why not? Let's do it. But I think it just, as the more that I did it, it sort of resonated more. Mm-hmm, and then also depends on what's going on at the time. So essentially, it's almost like, for the lack of a better term, my prayer in a sense. You're sort of kind of speaking,
It's become your spiritual practice?
A part of it. It's a part of it. I wouldn't say it's a silver bullet, but it's part of it, as far as, your, not only like your spirituality, but just, your mental wellness, if you will, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like for me, as time goes on, it's not linear, right? So the positive self-talk sort of really resonates when you're confronted with those instances where you have fear or
Yes.
doubt, it's
Yes.
like, okay, this is like, no, Lisa, you got it.
Yes. 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 Yes.
I'm intelligent. I could solve this problem. You know what I'm saying? So those sort
Yeah.
of impromptu sort of self-talk to kind of boost your confidence
Yes.
in whatever you're going through, be it work or whatever life stuff you're dealing with. Yeah.
And I think that's almost the premise of like one of the things I'm hoping that listeners actually take away from the September series is like having a positive self-talk lifestyle doesn't eradicate or eliminate the negative, right? Like I
Exactly.
know every single day there are thoughts that what I believe what I know it does, at least for me, and I think what you just expressed as well, is when those thoughts come up, there's an equal and opposing um, um, language that helps
Mm-hmm.
to drown that out more, right? Like, and so,
Yes.
and almost get you back into sort of self belief, self confidence, sort of like facing the fear and continues to pressing forward. And
Yes.
all of it at the end of the day lives within us, right? Like those same negative thoughts and the same sort of positive affirmations all come from within. And so, this whole life cycle, this lifestyle of adopting a positive is really about helping you from an inner space, be ready to help yourself in those, you know, like times in life where it has the propensity to bring you down, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
now we are like there's a group that you joined then on January 1st, and there's others in there, and we're on day 238 on the day that you and I are recording this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that you were already ahead of the game. Now it's just you're now doing it in a group with other people. But what
Yeah.
is the experience actually seeing others? Like, does that have any effect on you, seeing others and knowing that others are going to be posting like in there talking to themselves, essentially?
Yes. No, I think it's wonderful because like, that community is always good, right?
Mm-hmm.
On a similar sort of wavelength or a
Mm-hmm.
similar path to, our own greatness on a day-to-day basis. I
Mm-hmm.
think sometimes depending on the day, it's just like some other people's affirmations resonate with me more sometimes. It's like, oh, that hit me right there. So I
Yeah.
think that because we're in community, we
Mm-hmm.
also benefit from each other's
Mm-hmm.
affirmations. Like some
Mm-hmm.
things boost us that you didn't anticipate would
Yeah.
sort of resonate. So I think
Yeah.
that's the beauty of the not only of the saying the affirmations, but sharing it.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
benefit from each other's
Yeah. I like
claiming
that.
our greatness. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Yeah.
Some days I actually don't, all I have time is to kind of stay mine. But one of the things I love is when I go in there and I actually just see somebody else, like, just as I enter the group, I see somebody else's post. It actually just says, it affirms, I don't know, it just does something. Like it just makes me feel a little bit more accountable. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
in here. I'm not only like they're giving me accountable to being in there every single day as well, right? So
absolutely.
um and what happens on those days where you're like, oh God, I'm not feeling it today? And either like do you give up on the practice, or do you double down?
I think when you slip up, you just gotta pick yourself up and just
Yeah.
get back at it. You know what I mean? It's just, you just okay, give yourself some grace, give yourself a little hug and just get back to it,
Yeah. Yeah. I
Give
love that.
yourself a little
I
grace.
think great grace is needed in this lifestyle for sure. And so I think everyone is like, well, can you share some of your mantras?
Oh, okay. Well, we can go through it.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You see, it's so funny. You're the third person I've interviewed, and I could tell that they are like, oh my God, I have to share them. But the first thing they do is they close their eyes, which
It's
to
like
me
a
is, yeah.
yeah, it's like my prayer. Like, let me get
Yeah.
centered.
Yeah. And I love that because it means it's from within. You're not,
Right.
yeah, okay, okay. Now let me let you get centered.
Okay. Okay. I am peace. I am blessed and highly favored. I am cherished. I am loved. I am powerful. I am strong. I am healthy. I am growing. I am becoming the woman I am destined to be. I am living a life of abundance. I am making a difference in people's lives. I am an entrepreneur. I am a leader. I am successful. I am grateful. I am a child of God. I am ready for what's next. I am in flow. I am love. I am created to succeed. I am designed to win. I am equipped to overcome. I am anointed to prosper. I am limitless. I am unshakable and unstoppable.
Mm. I
There it
love,
is.
considering that I've been part of your journey, the one that really always resonate with me is I'm ready for what is next. Because I
Mm,
know that was something that was challenging, and I think now it's, to me, when I hear you say that, it's like this, even in the face of uncertainty, that whatever is coming for you next, you're going to be able to get through it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. And as a parting, I want you to now gift the world. If there's one mantra that somebody who's listening to this is saying, okay, I'm starting my affirmation game, my self-talk game, and I just need some help to build it. What's one that you resonate, like, that means a lot to you, that you want to share with them?
I think, generally speaking, whatever crisis or fear or challenge you may facing, you just flip it. But I think one that I think that serves regardless of whatever you're going through is I am limitless.
Hey,
The skies, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
because oftentimes you might have these kind of thoughts like, can I do it?
yeah,
Or the circumstances beyond me
yeah,
pressing through.
yeah.
I am limitless.
Indeed. Indeed you are. Indeed you are. Yes. Yes. Thank you so
Yes.
much. Yeah. Hey, Chris, what's up?
Hello, what's going on?
Welcome to the episode where we're talking everything about the self-talk I am mantra group. And so I have to
So,
share. So we've interviewed, you're the like, transparently, you're the last person being interviewed in the group.
much better.
Yeah, this is before editing. Like, so everybody that's watching this is pre-editing. And Chris and I had a little bit of a B-roll, and so just want to say a little facts, because we also, I didn't do this with Alicia. I should have, but they have
Yes,
been doing their mantras since we had a mentoring program, the Empowered in My Skin leadership mentoring program. And
yes.
we found out and confirmed that they started on October 24th. Wait for it.
2022.
2022. And as of today of this recording, it's 257 days in the Facebook group, but it's 690 days for them. Okay.
Wow,
So
wow.
let's
That's all you, Ink.
let's talk about like day one.
Mm,
And what made you sort of, like, I always say commitment is staying true to what you said you're going to do it long after the feeling which you said it has passed, right? So there was something,
mm,
I remember you guys are pretty impressed with the fact that I do them every day and I run them
yeah,
off, and
yeah.
that's how we started. I said, are you guys ready? You guys want to do it? And
And remember what we said, Ink? Everybody was like, no, we don't want to do it. It's too much pressure. It was.
I don't know if I forced you guys.
No, you just, and that's what actually pushed me, because all you said was, just give it a try. Let me know what you guys think. Like, and that was just telling me, like, go do it. You think it's a big deal? Let me know how it improves your life.
Right.
Right?
I think at the beginning I might even have given you some mantra. I think I might have shared some
You
mantras you
did.
guys can.
You
I like
did.
that you guys made it your own. And so anyway, so take us back to day one, what it felt like, because you had to record. Then we were on WhatsApp.
This was way back when I was still navigating the whole idea of, oh, look, what is this about? Like, so you had already walked us through, after that great mentorship session, it was more like, okay, you have these tools. How do you incorporate them? How do you use them? And, I had written down your words, right? I am. And I'm like, so Chukuma, who are you? What are you like? And, you were told us, you're not looking for perfection. You're not looking for, oh, you're going to get a pass mark. This is yours. You need to own this. And that was how it gradually started up for me, owning my words, right? I am Chukuma Nkwanta Christopher. I'm fun. I'm intelligent. Speaking those words and letting me, looking at the mirror and listening to those words, put those little things that I took for granted. Because remember, Inc., we are coming from a society where it's more like it wasn't common to hear these things being said to yourselves, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you would always take them for granted, but these things make meaning because it's coming from
Mm-hmm.
you. It's coming from you. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what you kind of let us understand, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
all we're doing was sharing it with one another. And I was feeding off that energy because I
Mm-hmm.
then understood, goosebumps. Even now, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I still get goosebumps. And that's showing me, like, yeah, you're going to take something out of this today. Like,
Yeah.
it's not the same every day, it's
Yeah.
always something different.
Yeah.
So trust me, from 2024, from 2022, October 24 till now, it might seem like nothing, but I've seen the effect.
Well,
I can
so
speak
I'm
of the
going to say
effect.
this. I feel the effect. So when you just said those three mantras right now, you said your name, I'm fun, I'm intelligent.
Intelligent.
There is a level, and it's so funny because I recently had an episode on that, from self-belief to self-conviction. So I've heard you say those before. Like, it's been a while since we've had sort of this,
Yeah.
one-on-one talk about this. And there was a time where I recognized, okay, yeah, he believes them. But the manner in which you said it now, you touched your chest. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
you said it with the
Conviction.
it's more than that. The tone was
Mm.
very settled, was very firm. You were saddled in those words.
Mm.
I felt them, right? That's conviction.
Mm.
You've gone to the depth of conviction. I am
Yeah.
convinced that this is true about myself. And that's why I always say, people, like, when you're uncertain, at a minimum, your
Mm.
name is something that you're convicted about, right?
Absolutely.
So talk to me now what it feels like, because it doesn't mean that the world doesn't still throw things at you, but 690
Nope.
days later, I mean, I've seen you do it while you're walking. I
And
know
that's what I'm saying. When you say what does it feel like, every day feels different. It's about being on another continent, it's about being somewhere else, it's about being frustrated, it's about being triggered, but you're still I am just like slowing everything down, being in that moment and starting it. Words to me. I'm on the train, it's really, really tense. I'm Chukuma Christopher Quanta. I'm in a place of peace. I am listening, because I struggle with my inner voice till today. It's still something I always try and want to, that inner child, to let it understand, like, hey, we are okay. We might have gone through trauma, gone through whatever it is, you get triggered. It's okay. We just have to keep each day going. And you said it in one of your videos. This is no joke. And I was like, Ike is talking to me, because I don't know how I'm being consistent with this. It is no joke. But
it's no joke.
the thing is, you just get that clarity when you listen and you set the camera to yourself and you speak to yourself, you speak to the group, and those words just, reiterate what it is you're trying to point out. It's going to be a great day. You're a great individual. You are a super attractor. You're there to just show love and, receive that love. And people think it's a small thing, but it goes a long way.
It goes a
And
long
that's the
way.
benefits
Yeah.
I've seen in my life today. That's
Mm-hmm.
why to tomorrow I tell anybody, nobody can tell me anything Nkechi is. No, I'm sorry. It's not. I know who she is. I know what she's done for me. So this is it's stay with me till,
I love it. And what I love is that you share it. So
yeah.
I know through some mutual acquaintances that you have also, tried to help others, and sort of embracing. So what's that been like? Like,
Inc. My community, our community is, as I've said, it's you trying to break that cycle of speak to yourself, because it's not something we grew up with, right? It's a challenge, and I always tell people it's not just a challenge I'm going to shy away from. It's still something that's always going to be work in progress. I might not use the approach in which everybody feels like, oh, you need to share content. Mine is, if you need help, if you feel like, oh, you want to be in this circle, I need to see that commitment. It's not just, the words anymore for me. Like, it's easy to say, oh, yeah, let me jump on. Like, no. Consistency is not a small thing. People think, oh, it's easy to be consistent. It is not. You said it. It's a hard thing.
It's hard.
Being
It's hard.
consistent.
It's hard.
It's hard.
And it gets harder. It's hard because we somehow forget. That's why I always say commitment, staying true to what you said you're going to do long after the feeling in which you said it has passed, because that that feeling is so fleeting. You know what I mean? Like, life is very transient. And so I even remember I went through COVID, and I remember the morning I woke up, the first morning in the hospital, I woke up, the mantras just sort of came to life, and then everything else just kind of opened up. I just you just kind of knew that you're going to get better. So what I want to ask you is, have you had moments like thank you for sharing transparently that you still have that inner voice. How quickly now are you able to get out of that? Like, do you, or is it very situational dependent?
No, it's two things I'm doing right now. As much as I'm doing these mantras, I'm seeking therapy, man, because I have so much to upload. So I'm telling you, I'm in a better place, but there are days that it could be a struggle. And as I've said, it's being present with myself. I don't allow my mind to go to the past or to the future. No, it's about sitting down, breathing, saying these words to myself, letting that inner voice know, yep, you've been triggered, you've been going through this, but it's a matter of how do you push through, right? It's one thing to say, hey, it's going to get better. I'm not lying, it doesn't. I just recovered from this nasty flu, and in my head I kept going like, but I did everything right. I've been working out, staying healthy. What's this all about? It's your body just telling you like, hey,
slow down.
You're not.
You're human.
You're human.
You're very human.
But in my head, because I've been doing this and I've been feeling so great, I forgot that there are going to be ups and downs. And you always, and like, Ink just finds that day to just try that video, and I'm like, she's talking to me. Too much. She's talking to you. Like, just listen.
So the world wants to hear how you talk to yourself. So can you share some of your mantras with us?
For sure. So this is it, folks. It's nothing too specific, but I gear up, I look in, say, let's go. I'm Chukuma Christopher Nkwanta. I'm strong mentally and physically. I'm breathing. I'm growing. I'm here. I'm grateful for moments where I'm slowing down. I'm taking in this fresh air. I'm breathing more. I'm alive. I'm sound, and I'm great. I'm a Nigerian, a great father, a phenomenal partner. I'm joy unlimited. I am worthy of love. I am creative beyond measure. I am here to stay, to make a positive impact, and to show people I am worthy of love. You are worthy of love. I'm fun, authentic, and I'm intelligent. A great and super attractor. I'm attracting that energy that I know gets me to the finish line, and not just the finish line, but to just show love in a much, much encouraging way.
Woo!
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
I love it. I love it. I love
Thank
it.
you.
I love it. Thank you so much, Chris. And you
Absolutely.
have the mic. One last ask. If there's one mantra that you get to give today, what's it going to be?
I'm peaceful. Be at peace, folks. Find peace in here. Always.
He's pointing, for those of you that are listening audio, he's pointing to your heart. Find peace inside of you. It's there. It lives inside of all of us. Thank you so much. Amazing, Chris. You are fantastic.
You are the fantastic one.
You are.
Much love to you always. I love you.
No problem. Always. Right back at you. Hey, Jen.
Hi.
Welcome. So as you know, we are in the month of September, and we are doing a self-talk series. And being so close to me, you know how special that is for me, right? Like, I just have this mission this year to really help people talk really well to themselves. I think we should. We deserve it. And you are actually a catalyst, I guess, for some of this particular episode where we're featuring all of the people that are in the Facebook self-talk group. And in large part, that was born from a post that I did. So that's what I've been explaining. And then you were like, I'm in, because you always like, I think you and I might have had a conversation. Anyway, you might remember. Yeah. So my first question to you is like, how did you come about like deciding to be in the group? Do you remember?
I do remember, actually. And I think it might have been because we kicked it off for 2024.
So yeah, right on January 1st. Yeah.
Yeah. November, December, you had posted a video about your self-talk. And I know you've had that practice for a long time, but I think I was just in this interesting reflective place. And I reached out to you and I said, I was really inspired by that. And you being you're like, well, let's do this. Like, do you want to let's do this. Let's formalize it. Let's incorporate this practice as a community. And I went from being inspired by you to being recruited by you. And then the rest is kind of history. But I will share with you that it being the way I am, I actually spent a good 2 hours thinking through, like not consecutive, thinking through what I wanted to say to myself.
Yeah.
And I think that was like such an impactful thing for me to do is what do I need to hear right now in my life in this moment that I want to remind myself about over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And so that whole practice of just even preparing to create the practice of saying stuff to myself was actually being really thoughtful about what I needed to say for myself. So that in and of itself was very helpful for me.
And I love it because I always say like, I'm so geeky about this. Like, I think like I'm an I am junkie. And I just want to say for all the listeners, for everyone that's listening to this around the world, like this, we're talking to like a badass Shiro here right now. She's like the chief data officer at one of Canada's like biggest like companies and financial institutions. And she does her daily mantras every single day. Like everybody can do it.
Yeah.
So you've been in the group for over 250 days now.
Yes.
200 as of recording, 257 days. Like
I know, it's amazing.
And when you think about doing something like we just like day-to-day life, we just do things, but I think there's something about I'm a big gamification junkie too, but there's something about being able to track what you've been doing.
Yes.
So talk to us about like how has it been for 257 days? Like, as you sit back and you're like, were you like, oh my gosh, it's 257 days? Or does it feel like 257 days?
For me, it's just become a practice. And so it feels like not like something I'm tracking. And to anyone listening, like, even though I said it took me over 2 hours just to plan for what I said, I wanted to say to myself, it doesn't have to be 2 hours. It could be, I need to say this one sentence to myself. Like I know that that's it and it needs to be one sentence. But for me, like the way in which we do it on the Facebook group, it's very simple. And I mean, I haven't done it every single day on the Facebook group. I've done it almost every day. And I have done it every day to myself. So it doesn't feel like, it just feels like something I do, like I brush my teeth. So I'm even though we're tracking the days as a community, which I think is fun, it doesn't feel long or short. It just feels like
it's something you do now.
It's something I do now. Exactly.
Okay. And have you used do you use your mantras in your day-to-day conversations? So transparently, seems like you've had a little bit of a day.
I have today, yes.
So do you ever have moments where you find that these mantras kind of help you in real?
Oh, 100%. And that's what I mean. Like part of our practice as a community, which is powerful, is we share a video of ourselves speaking our mantra to each other, which I think is beautiful and very inspiring that we're all part of it. But separate from that, I say it to myself, through the day when I need to. It's not like all day long, but if I'm in a spot where it's just feeling really hard, and sometimes you feel like you can't grab on to something to get out of it, I will say my mantra because I have control over that. And it brings it's just a bit, it brings a sense of settling to the moment. That's been really, really helpful. And some of the sentences in my mantra are more needed depending on what's happening. I say them all every day, but I absolutely use it, like, especially in those moments where I just need to grab onto a tool that I know is good for me. I'll just say, I'll do the mantra.
And I love what you just said. Like, it is my mantra and I have control over it, right? Like, a lot of times I think when we're in these situations that are outside of our control, because they're outside of our control, we don't know what we can grab. Like, we don't typically think about right away, what can I grab onto that is my control? And I think having that practice so readily available and innate in you, you automatically just kind of grab onto something that you know to be true about yourself.
Yeah. And that's been helpful. And I think for me too, like, some things feel more true than others depending on the day. But I know when I crafted what I said, I really, really believed in them when I crafted them. So even if there's some wavering about, do I really believe what I just said? It's like I did at one point, and that was very true. And I want to hang on to that energy from that point in time because I need it right now. Like, I need it right now.
So you and I've had a conversation. So just double clicking on that a bit around what can you do? Like, in some cases, I will say when I started my mantra journey back in 2014, it's been so long right now that I can't believe I've been doing it for so long. I wasn't equipped with all the awareness and stuff that I had right now. I just said, okay, I just started saying mantras to myself. I don't know at what point I started to believe them, but they weren't necessarily mantras I believed right out of the go, but I knew that over time I would. Now I have way more knowledge. So you and I were talking about that. And so what can you share around when people are trying to get into this, sort of daily practice? Is it better to pick mantras that they don't, believe to be true, or how can they frame them so that what would be your suggestion to them?
I think that they need to be something that resonate with you, right? It could be a belief that you want to live into. But if it needs to be meaningful and sort of an area of like where you want to invest your brain. Like, I want to invest my brain in starting to think this way about myself, even if I don't quite think this way now. I think that's what's more important. And I mean, I'll share with you one of mine. I have many sentences in mind, but just as an
we're going to get you to share your mantra in a minute.
Oh, there we go. But like, for me, I actually have this core set of statements that I knew was important for me to really invest in at the beginning of the year. And then at the very end of my mantra, I throw in different things that are more kind of have evolved over the year, more situational, that it's like, oh, on top of all that foundational stuff I'm working on through the year, I really need to tell myself this stuff right now.
Yeah.
So you can kind of, I think it's okay to play with it. And it really brings some self-awareness about what you need right now and why, right? So it really needs to be very personal to you.
And I love that that's just been the theme of what you've been saying over the last, 8 minutes that we've been talking, but it's really about that, right? It is yours. There's no rule to it. There's no rhyme or reason. It's about getting into this habit of speaking more positively to yourself than maybe the world typically has done or your experiences have done in the past when you're not sort of focused on that. And so have you observed a dimming of the negative talk?
I think so in general, not just because of the mantra, but just because of all the other self-awareness and all the work that I've invested in over time. So I think that had already been happening through other work that I've done. But I think when I recognize I'm leaning into maybe a negative mindset, again, this is just a quick tool to say, and these other things are also true. It's like a bit of a settling, right?
Yeah.
Settling in. Yeah.
Okay. So let's hear the truth about you, girl. Share your mantras.
So I'm going to share bits and pieces of my mantra that I think are reflective of what I was saying at the beginning, like things I really needed to work on. And the one that has been very powerful is when I speak my needs, I receive them abundantly, because I am generally a person that takes a lot of accountability, leans in, does a lot of hard things. And it's harder for me to ask for help. And so I was recognizing in this moment in my life, I really need to ask for people for help. Like there's just a lot of growing happening for me right now. And when you're in this growth stage, I think you need to lean on people for help. So that line has really actually created action in my life where I'm reaching out for help when I normally wouldn't. And so it's reminding me to do that. And I've shared that with my team at work too, because we're in a tough growth period right now. There's a lot of opportunity and a lot of challenge. So I've actually shared that line in my mantra with people. Like, when you speak your needs, you will receive them abundantly. Like, it's hard right now, but you've got help, you're supported. So that one has been really impactful. The other one is, I embrace the mess that I sometimes am. And just really giving myself grace for feeling like things are hard, right? And it being okay. Another one is my mind, body, and spirit are powerful because I make them so. And just a reminder of some of the other practices I've added to my life, like eating well, working out, that those are important to me and they create, and they're in my control to keep me powerful. And then the last one I'll add is one that I mentioned I've added through the year that I think I just needed to like remind myself. And that one is, I am calm, confident, capable, and convincing. And so there's a lot of sort of things I had to do in my professional life that were really stretching my comfort level. And I had to just keep reminding myself of those C's. They're calm, capable, confident, and convincing. So that's when I'll just throw in there that that's an example of something I've inserted because I needed to sort of remind myself of that situation.
I might take that one from you. I don't, me calm, but I'll take that one from you. I would say I'm patient. I'm learning to wait well.
I love that. I love that.
That's a new, I'm learning to wait. I'm becoming someone who waits well is what I said.
The other thing I'll add, which I think has been fun for me to add, is I am open to the gifts that the universe has to offer me. Which for me felt a little bit woo-woo, like just for who I am. But it also opened up my mind every day to say, okay, there's a lot of stuff going on, but there's these gifts and I need to look for them.
And be open and ready to receive.
I need to be open and ready.
I say, I mean, mine is I'm open to receive.
Yes.
You're right. I'm perfectly aligned to receive. And my biggest fun one that I have that actually I used to say it as a joke until I actually started to attract wealth was I am a multimillionaire.
Yeah, I love it.
Until I was like, oh, let me just see how I'm doing in this world. And I'm like, oh.
And I mean, there's scientific proof about how when you start to change your thoughts, you start to see evidence. Like your brain looks for evidence that what you're thinking and saying is true, right? And so why not give it helpful things to search for, right?
And there's no limit. Like on my vision board, I have the number 500 billion. And when people could see it, they say, what's the 500 billion? I'm like, that's how much I'm worth. And then and then somebody caught it. They're like, well, why'd you stop there?
I am priceless.
That was good. It was in the magazine. Don't question my vision board. No, just kidding. Well, Jen, I am so grateful that you're in the chat. And if there's one mantra that you have the microphone to share with someone else, to gift it to somebody else, what would be a mantra that you want to give away today?
I would say it is, I am whole. I am whole. I am enough. I am whole. Like any version of that, where just remind yourself there's no deficit in you. You are fully human, fully whole.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I love
you. Love you too.
Great day, sis.
Good morning. Good morning. Grand Rising.
Yeah, thank you for saying yes. So I'm gonna get it started. And I just want you in your like greatest self-talkish way to introduce yourself to the world.
So while I am Suzette Robinson Malcolm, I am a daughter, I am a wife, and also I am a sister, an auntie, and I am just a great, I would say, well, I'm trying to look the words to describe me. Well, I'm bold, I'm beautiful, strong. I am. That's it.
You're beautifully and wonderfully made.
Yeah.
So how was, like, it's so funny because I wasn't going to interrupt. I was going to let you just kind of work through that. How does that feel? Because I know I put you on the spot because typically I introduce people, but how does that feel?
Well, putting me on this because sometimes I'm shy, to talk about myself and just to get a feel of like, I know that people probably think that I'm great, but for me to say it for myself, it gets hard sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I probably got stuck because like I was like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? What for me, because most of the time you don't describe yourself in certain ways, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm bold, I'm beautiful, I'm talented, I'm very ambitious and all of that. And, I'm a strong woman and anything that I set my mind how to do, I do it. So, and do it with confidence all the time and resilient.
And see now, see, you're warming up, and then it becomes, you give people permission to like say, no, man, just you matter, you know what I mean? And just, share yourself with the world. So this episode is all around, as you know, about the self-talk group that I founded in January on Facebook, and you joined. And so just wanted to know, what inspired you to join that group?
So what inspired me to join the group is that, first of all, I like a challenge also.
Yeah.
So I wanted to challenge myself to have the self-talk. I do this already, but I wanted to be more consistent. And I wanted to pour more into myself because I pour in so much into other people. So I said to myself, why not start pouring into myself in a way? And also affirming it and believe in it and walk in it. So when you asked me if I'd love to join this group that you have, it was easy to say yes, because it's something that I always wanted to do, and just to be doing it for so long. And I am so happy because to know how long we've been doing it, it's just amazing. And I was like, wow, it's that already?
Yeah, it's crazy. I always tell people, like, until you start and you start to track things, like, so today we are recording this on day 237.
I know. Right. And I just before, well, when I wake up, I try to just like do it. But then there's days you do it in the afternoon and then you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't do my mantra. Oh, it's 11:59. I got to do my mantra. You know what I mean? So it gets me excited and I love it, because it's life. And if there's anybody who is listening to this, I would say go ahead and even if you don't have to do a group, do it for yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror in the morning and just be telling yourself that you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, you're enough, those kind of things, And when I look at myself, I'm going to tell you the real truth, Nkechi. I used to look at myself and see flaws. Oh, I have a spot here on my face. My stomach doesn't look right. Oh, this, that, I need to change this. I'm too fat and too big, and just joining the group made me change all of that and know that I'm beautiful.
Yeah. And you are. You are.
I'm beautiful, and I don't see the flaws anymore. It's like the 237 days. I have no flaws.
Yay! Yay!
Yes. There's nothing. I'm perfectly made by God, and I'm loved by Him. So what kind of flaws do you have? Right. Oh, it's very hard. Don't get me wrong. It's hard. It's I'm not going to tell you it's easy to just change your mind, because it's just like if you look on the wall and you're looking at a clock that you put on the wall and you see that clock every day, and every day you look at that clock and you move that clock from the wall, you're still going to look for the clock on the wall. So it's just the same in your life. Like, the change that you have to do is that you're still going to see the flaws, but you have to tell yourself you're better than your flaws. You know, your flaws and the fear that you have and what people may think. And a lot of us, which is one, I am one of them. I get talking about me now. Some people might say, "Hey, say that, yo, why you losing so much weight? Why you working out, right?" And I tell them my why. I don't say, "Oh, I don't like, you know, feel negative about it or anything." I tell them my why because my why might be different from your why.
Yeah.
Mean that you shouldn't not work out, but I would encourage you to work out. But if you choose not to, that's yours, right? But when I want to work out, it makes me feel good inside. It makes me feel healthier, stronger, and I want to do it for me. So it's not for people; it's for me, and you have to do it for you. And always remember, anything that you're doing, it's not for the people who are looking. They're watching, yes, but who are you doing it for, and what is your why? Why are you doing it? And you have to know why you're doing it before it become consistent. Yeah.
Ooh, I love it. So you have like your self-talk didn't start. I remember I interviewed you on this podcast some time back. I'm going to have to ask my team to maybe find some clips from that, because in that interview we talked about, I remember why I was inspired to interview you was because of your bathroom. And I saw all of your I am statements, like all around your bathroom on your mirror. And, these were things that you would see, and the whole imagery of seeing these words, these positive words in front of you. So my question to you is, as you start to think about when you started that journey of really starting to affirm yourself, and I think Coach Stormy was your inspiration, maybe.
Yes.
How has that evolved? Like, have your mantras changed? Have you kept sort of the same set and you just add more? Like, what does that journey look like for you?
So I've added more since I started this group, because it was always the ones that I did in my mirror. So as soon as I did this mantra, I changed some a bit. And even in my mantra that I do on a regular basis for the 237 days, I actually added some stuff. So it never looks the same, because when I'm speaking from how I'm feeling inside. Word has to mean something to me. You just don't roll it off your tongue. Yes, it comes off your tongue because you want it, but some part of it I change, because there's days that you feel down, right? And you have to, I am strong, and I am bold. And there's days you might not feel beautiful, so you just tell yourself you're beautiful, or it's my day,
Yeah. So we all want to hear some of your mantras, and I know it might be uncomfortable now because you're being put on the spot, but I'm just going to ask you just to share. Just go.
So I am bold. I am beautiful. Well, you know what? Let me say my mantra that I always say.
Okay.
I will hear the voice of the Holy Spirit within. I will lead and not follow. I will create and not destroy. I am a force for good. I defy the odds. I set new standards. I'm above and not beneath. I am the lender and not the borrower. I am created by God, loved by God, protected by God. So I say, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. And any tongue that raises up against me in judgment, it shall be condemned. It is my season. It is my turn. I am bold. I am beautiful. I am strong. I am enough. I am a multi-millionaire. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am a champion. I am a winner, and I will win.
Yeah. I love it. And because I've been in there with you, I actually know which ones you added, tweaked, so I think that's really awesome. It's really great to see in there, sis. And knowing that you're going to be in there puts me in there too. I think there's something about that competitive thing, but I think it's also about being around people who are helping to pull each other up. Right. So So thank you so much. And in parting, I want you to, I don't know if it's a favorite mantra, but what is, like, if I just said you have one mantra to leave the world with, which one would it be?
I am resilient.
There you have it.
Yes, I am resilient. And I want to say something to
Yeah.
you. Thank you for having me on your platform. It's an honor. And your platform is an amazing platform. So if there's anybody that's listening, they could go ahead and listen to your podcast, because you will get something even from one of the person who you have interviewed on your podcast, because I listen to them and I get a lot of gems from them. Secondly, I want to thank you for having me in your group, because it has changed my life and it's made me a better person, even more, to go out and touch somebody. So if you can do that for me, I can do it for somebody else, and somebody else can do it for somebody else. So I've been telling people about the mantra. I've been telling them to do it and try doing it for themselves, right? Mm-hmm. So with that said, you are the bomb.
Yeah. And, you know, so for those of you that may not know, because we didn't really introduce each other, but if you caught it, we actually shared the same last name, and though she's Robinson Malcolm and I'm Wafor Robinson. So yes, we are sister-in-laws, so we are family. And Susie, I will be honest with you, since day one. And I mean, day one is like my first date with your brother. You have shown me such love. And so I think for me, the greatest gift right now as I sit here interviewing you is just seeing how much you love yourself. Because I think I feel your love more because of how much love and care and worthiness and that you now feel for yourself. And I think that's been the biggest, best journey to watch. And I'm so grateful to have you in my life, because you enrich and make mine that much better. So thank you.
Same here. It goes. Listen, I have no biological sisters, and I've earned 3 sisters from my and I love you hard. Like, you're the person I can also call on and say, sis, you're one of the sisters I could call and said, hey, I need you, and you're there. So thank you for being that, you know?
Always, 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 always. And so there you have it, world. Suzette Robinson Malcolm, she is incredible. Her energy is awe-inspiring. And when she enters into rooms, she shifts the energy towards something greater and better. So thank you so much, Suzette. Love you. In your most self-talkish way, you know, kind of like thinking about your favorite affirmations, I want you to introduce yourself.
Oh my goodness. That's tough, but you know what? I'm just gonna jump into it, because you know when you go by memory. In my most self-talkish way, you know, my name is Trisha Blake, and I am fearfully and wonderfully made, and I am a joyful disruptor. I am a wellness instigator. I can do all things through Christ.
Yes.
And I am happy to be here.
Yes. And it's so funny. I love that, because like oftentimes when I'm interviewed on a panel and they say, please, you know, talk a little bit about yourself, I will obviously separate the two. I'll say, well, what I'm made for. And then I'll kind of go in, and then there's what I'm paid for. And then I'll talk more about like my corporate, you know, job and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you, Madame Trisha Blake. I was like, you didn't even say I'm the rich auntie in the metaverse. I'm like,
because I'm going to get to that later. That's why I said it was tough to kind of choose. You know, you caught me off guard. I was going to give you the corporate bio, but I'm like, with the corporate bio, that is part of your I am, as you said, where you separate it.
Yeah, I get it.
And I think we'll probably touch on that, where it becomes, I don't know, not legalistic, but it's like, okay, you have this as your affirmations. I am powerful, and I am, you know, this, and I am that. And I'm so many things. Like, I'm multi-hyphenate, like I'm so many things.
Yes. Yeah. And most of all, you are such a gift in my life, and so grateful for you. And so let's talk first about the group, right? So this episode is all around talking to the members of the self-talk group, which, you so joyfully joined on January 1st.
Yes, I did. We're gonna
so my first question for you is, so I'm going to just prefix my question to you saying that consistency is doing what we said we're going to do long after the feeling which we said it is past. So let's first talk about why you said yes to joining the group.
I said yes because it felt right. It felt good. It felt like it was something that I needed in that season. And knowing that this has been your forever journey, I said, I want to join my friend. I want to join my sister and, lock arms with her, because she's sitting in there in that Facebook Live all by herself in this group. She's talking to herself in the mirror. All by herself. I said, I'm going to join because, we're two or more gathered, right?
Yeah. And it gave me such joy because we've been on a little bit of a self-talk life, even outside of that group, for some time. And so thank you for the partnership. Now, we are 237 days in today when we're actually recording this episode. Okay. Not when it airs, but when we're recording this episode. And wanted to just, talk to you about what that journey has been like for you.
Well, I'm just gonna put it out there, full transparency, shame the shame. Of the 237 days, I haven't, and we talked about consistency, I haven't been consistent. But guess what? Guess what? It is okay, because what I have learned, and I think I was trying to allude to that earlier, was it became something that was a checkbox. And I felt that, and there were also some, I think I was trying to reconcile some personal health challenges that I was having, and the way that we were recording it, I wasn't feeling comfortable in my skin, which is interesting because we're talking about self-talk, and I didn't even want to go. I didn't feel like going on video, and so I didn't continue the practice because of that particular feeling where I had to do the self-talk on camera, with the group. But I also recognize that, I'm still self-talking every day.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And although, like I said, it's been an interesting journey because I specifically chose, a certain set of self-talk affirmations, and then, life journeys into, they're not resonating with me anymore. And I want something that feels good, and they feel good. I'm not saying that they didn't feel good, but I'm on a faith walk right now, in my spiritual journey, and I felt that my affirmations need to be grounded in the word.
Yeah, so I'm gonna park that because I do want to ask a very specific question about that, because I think it'll resonate with listeners. But let's talk. I want to also touch on something that I think you said is, I love the fact that you shared that when it felt more of a checkbox, it lost its intention for you. And so, and then you also touched on, it didn't stop your self-talk life. It just stopped the practice of going into the group to do that. So talk a little bit more then about a typical day in your head, and how self-talk helps you either work through it, and sort of navigate those gunshots.
Bullet, I am blessed. How's that? Wake up in the morning, your feet touch the ground, or your eyes open. Let's just start with the eyes opening before your feet touch the ground, because your eyes need to open to be able to, well, no, not necessarily. Your eyes can be closed if you know your surroundings, but you know what I'm saying. I navigating that, I open my eyes and I give thanks, and I think ground in the gratitude. This a posture of gratitude is how I would start off my day. And so I am blessed being the first one to be able to open my eyes, like just acknowledging that space and that particular posture, opening up to my Bible and going immediately to scripture. So I am a faith walker, so knowing that, and that's what's guiding me, that continues into, starting off my day, going into scripture, and then holding on to that as I go through. So, you got the Bible app and I might go through that, but knowing that I am chosen, right?
Yeah.
And walking through my day, I am loved. And
it's
how
those
does
mental
that,
reminders
the reminders,
they're ever so present. Yeah.
Always present with the ever present, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Holy Spirit. Yeah.
And I think without sort of developing some type of self-talk habit or some ability where you actually have started to condition your mind to some of those, great affirmations about yourself, if they're not there, they won't be present when you most need them. So I love, I think it's more about those mental deposits that we put in there. So for those moments where those gunshots that are going off are not favorable for us, you can say things like, I am chosen, I am loved, and
I am a child. Exactly.
Yeah.
I am a child of God.
Yeah.
And stay that.
So to the other point that you were making, so now my direct question to that, and I think it's so like it's transient, right? Like my very first affirmation was, I am phenomenal, I think it was. And then my second one was, I am beautiful. And I had nothing else. Like I had no game. Like, I just heard about the power of I am.
Yes.
And I remember, like, I don't know I am statements. And anyway, now that's a whole different story. But I think like you, there are certain mantras or affirmations that are needed at certain different types of our lives. So maybe talk about what was that like, what transitioned, why you had to like, what were your affirmations that you felt you needed to transition from, or how do you know when there's that transition needed?
I think I was led by the Spirit there. Going back to the intentionality, it wasn't necessarily feeding my spirit in the same way. And I didn't want to use any of them. I made that decision that I need to start fresh. But what did that look like? And that in itself was a journey, because I'm also still focusing on the intentionality of a specific scripture and how that speaks to me and how that would complete me, but still align, right? I just, it was a conscious decision. I didn't want to use any of them. I am not using any of them. I want to ground it in what I know as the truth, right? And so if I'm using the word to strengthen me throughout the day, then it really is about, aligning. I'm renewing my mind every day. If I'm going into the scripture, I'm grounding my identity in faith. And my mindset and my faith, is going to strengthen my overall well-being. And, combating the negative self-talk, if I'm using the mantras that I had before, or if I ground it in scripture-based truths, then that's going to deepen my understanding of who I am and who I can, rely on. To help me combat those, you know what I mean? Those moments. And then I think it's also, I would say, the sheep fell away from the flock, but I came back. But this is a part of my growth. It's a part of my self-talk growth. But most importantly, it's a part of my spiritual growth. And still living out in faith, still finding a way to be resilient, still building my confidence, because I actually feel switching it up, I've become more confident.
Yes.
You understand what I mean? Because then that's faith-based confidence, and who can test me, right? With God on my side.
So share some in parting here. Share some of your favorite I am statements.
I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I am chosen. I am God's masterpiece. I am strengthened by Christ. I am not alone. I think that one is definitely a big one. I am an overcomer.
Yes.
And I am loved. Like,
yes. Loved indeed. You share love, you give love, you receive love, and you love massively. And I love you.
I love you
completely. Yes, man. So, Madam Self-Talkish,
Rich Auntie.
Madam Self-Talkish. Yes, go on with your swag. I thank you for coming on this podcast. And so, one last thing for all of the humans that are here listening to, I want you to give them a gift for a mantra that they can adapt and take in as of today, starting now. Go.
So I'm like, is it an I am or is it you are? Am I speaking?
No, you're going to say I am. You're going to ask them to repeat after me.
Repeat after me. I am not alone.
I am not alone.
I am strong.
I'm strong.
I am courageous.
I am courageous. There you have it. Go.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm not afraid. I was going to go. I was ready. See, now I'm warmed up.
I am not afraid. I love it. Thank you so much, Trisha. It is so great. And I look forward to seeing you I can't say it, but I'm going to say it. But seeing you in the group with your new mantras.
I'll be there. The sheep will return. The prodigal daughter is coming back. I didn't fall off the cliff.
I know. And you're ready with them anyway. I love that you are. Yeah. So thank you so much, love.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Bye. There you have it. I trust that you're feeling more empowered in your skin. And as the late Dr. Maya Angelou says, when you get, you give, when you learn, you teach. So it would mean so much for us at EIMS if you share this episode and tag us or teach an insight that you learned from today's episode on your socials and tag us. And remember to go over onto iTunes and leave us a review or follow us on socials at Empowered in My Skin. But most importantly, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode.